How's it going, guys? So in this tutorial, we are going to be creating this animation right here. It's going to be really fun and relatively quick to make. First thing we're going to do is make a circular array of curves. Then we're going to go ahead and displace the curves and shape them to look a little bit more like hills. Then through a few steps, we're going to use a wave texture to create this really beautiful animation. After that, we'll be completely done. This animation is part of a series of tutorials here on YouTube that are inspired by topographic map art and animations. I'll be posting 4 of these tutorials back to back here on YouTube, so if you want to learn more of this stuff, you can go and check out the other ones like this. They're all really cool and there's a lot of fun things to learn. On Patreon, I posted what I'm calling the topographic blueprint, which is an hour and 20 minutes of training of all the shading, geometry nodes, and animation tricks that are combined to make these 4 animations and many others. Here on YouTube, all those elements are combined to make really cool animations, but on Patreon, I'm showing you every individual effect and tip and trick so that you can combine them and make your own original topographic map inspired animations. So if you want to check that out, that is going to be linked in the description, and you can get a discount if you subscribe annually. With that being said, let's get into this tutorial. All right, so first let's go ahead and throw in a piece of geometry. I'm heading to geometry nodes and just get my windows the way I like to have, which is just one next to the other with the GeoNodes workspace here. I'm going to go ahead and click new and then delete the input, and we are going to go ahead and get in we're going to hit Shift A, search CIR, a curve circle, plug it here. We're going to give it a resolution of 300. And now, when I want to make arrays in geometry nodes and I'm displacing that array immediately after, I like to use a simulation zone to make the array. So we're just going to go ahead and search up simulation, and let's go ahead and plug those into there. And then we're going to go ahead and get in a transform geometry node and a join to get this to create the array. So we're going to join geometry, and then from outside the simulation, just go ahead and bring that back in. And we are going to scale this by 1.005. That is going to get you just barely next to it. And if you press play, it is going to start duplicating your circles. So just press play and then watch the duplication happen. I'm going to get 111 because that is what I used in mine. Really, you can do as many or as few as you want. So now that we have, you can see we have 100, it creates one new instance or one new object per frame. So we're going to go ahead, get a bake node and bake that out. So now we can go back to the beginning of our timeline and nothing's going to change. Now let's go ahead. I'm going to create a good amount of space because we're going to put some attributes right here later. But for now, let's just go ahead and get a set position node, and let's create the displacement. So we're going to get a combine XYZ so that we can just displace on the Z axis. Let's get a noise texture and plug color right into Z. And it's going to do that. Let's click on normalize, and let's get in a vector math node. And let's switch that to scale so that we can adjust the strength of this effect. I'm going to give it a scale of 2.3 to look really cool, just like that. Now what I want is there to be some flat portions of this animation, and normally you can just go ahead and get a color amp and it essentially kind of clamps it on the bottom and you get these nice flat portions. However, it's a really dramatic change from flat to curve. So I don't particularly like that. And if you want to get a little bit more advanced on edits like this, get a RGB curves node. And then what you can do is I'm just going to throw some points right here. And then here, I'm just going to bring this up just like that. And that is going to make that a little bit flat, but still have a little bit of nuance. And then we can just switch this over to, we can click on here and switch this over to more of a harsh straight line. You can even do that on this one. And you get these flat portions, but still have a little bit of a wave to them. And you can just flatten out all of these until you get some really nice looking flat portions of your scene. And then you could take the scale and bring up the other portions, and that is going to give you that topographic map inspired look where you have these hills, you have these flat portions, but still with a little bit of wave to them, which is really important for the style. And then I can go ahead and maybe bring my scale out a little bit more. I still want more flat. This is pretty cool. So we can bring that scale up some. So now we're here, we can go ahead and start adding materials. So I'm gonna go ahead, get a set material node. Right over here, we're gonna click new, and I'm just gonna call this light. You can call it whatever you want, and then grab it here. So right before the material, we're gonna go ahead and get a curve to mesh node, and we need to get a circle. We're going to get a curve circle node to define the width of the tubes. So we're going to plug that there. I'm going to do a resolution of 3 and a radius of 0.001 for now, and we will make that thinner later, but I want it big enough so we can see the materials as we're editing them. So now we have geometry. So if I go over here to the shader and I click on the light, I'm going to switch this over to an emission node. And then I'm gonna switch over to the EV engine and let's look at it. So we have this going on here. What I'll do is I'm gonna make this a little smaller so we can just look at it here. And then I'm gonna bring up a new window. So I'm gonna keep geometry nodes up here and I'm gonna put the shading here. And let's go ahead and plug a wave texture and a color ramp into the color here on the emission. So we can do a wave texture, and we won't need a mapping because we're gonna do an attribute instead. So just plug color right into color ramp. And notice our first problem, this right here. Notice how the wave, it's going across, and even if I switch this over to bands, it's still not gonna respect the direction of the curves themselves. So the way you can fix that is right before the set position. We're gonna add 2 attributes. So we're gonna get a store named attribute. We're gonna get 2 of them. So the first one is going to be a spline parameter node. And what he is going to be able to do is to tell the shading which direction the curves are going, essentially, at least from a visual standpoint. So we'll plug factor into value, and we'll just name them S for spline. And then I want to add some randomness to the phase offset. So we're going to get a random value node. I want to add a random value per curve. So we're going to go from points to splines and then plug that into the value. I'm just going to call this R for random. So that's all we're going to need to play with here. So I can just go ahead and delete this, and we can get 2 attribute nodes, one with the name R, one with the name S. So the one with the name S is the spline. So we'll plug factor into vector, and immediately it is going to respect the direction of the curves, which is really, really nice. And then just to make it look cooler, I'm going to go from sine to saw, and it is going to give the back end of it this really faded edge, and the front this hard edge, so that when I bring in my color ramp, you can have some fun. And then I'm going to just go bring my world brightness down to black, so this is a little bit more of an obvious edit. You can see that's how it looks now. It looks pretty cool. Now what I want to do is, you notice how all of the waves are in line with each other? I want to randomize the position, or how, where this is rotating per curve. And so we created a random value per curve attribute right here. So if I plug factor into phase offset, see how it's doing that? It's moving that. It's giving it a unique value for each curve, but it's not dramatic enough. I mean, that might be cool. That's definitely a cool look. I want it to be a little bit more dramatic. So I'm going to go ahead and get a math node and switch it to multiply add. I want to do a multiply so I can multiply this effect to make it look more like that, and then add so we can still animate all of them moving in a circle. So one thing you can do to edit this look a little bit is see how you can do that, bring it all the way down to this little point, and then you can use the add and animate these guys around. What you can do is go ahead and make this white as well, and then get a new node and make him black. And so now what we can do is bring him in like this. Now what we can do is make him a darker color and then bring it in and make it much darker, something like this, so that the tips of each one of these lines is brighter, and then it goes from gray and then into black like that. So it looks really, really cool. So you can do something like this and get this really cool effect, and then you can bring up your strength and then bring that down a little bit more so that we can have a more obvious effect. And then I'm going to go here to the compositing window up here, click use nodes, get a glare node and switch it over to fog glow. And then we can go back to the geometry nodes window. Right up here, we can switch it to always, and now we can see, okay, our glow is working. And then when we use the add-in, we can see, okay, we can move these guys around. Now, if you want to change the color, you can get a mix color node, put this on the factor, bring the top one down to black, and the bottom one, choose any color you want. So I'm going to go with something cool like this. Cool. So now we have this. Now, before we animate and finish this off, one thing I want to notice is all of these are animating at the same speed at the same time using this add-in slider here. But what I want is I want some of these curves, I want some of them to be faster and some of them to be slower than others. And I still want to animate this in a loop, but I don't like that they're all going the same. To me, it doesn't make it look alive enough, similar to the way it looks alive in my animation. So here's what we can do. I can get two materials, one where the animation is going a certain speed and the other material where it's going faster than the other one. And I need to be able to assign that to random ones. So here's what we can do. I can go back to the geometry nodes editor right here, and then right after the set position right here, we're going to go ahead and separate all of the curves so I can assign two different materials, one here and another one. So let's go ahead and get a separate geometry node, and we're going to say separate splines. I'm going to get a random value node and switch it to Boolean. That's going to make a slider. So what's going to happen is if I plug this into the selection, you'll notice some of these start to delete. We're deleting them. So I'm going to do 0.5. So that means exactly we're deleting half of them randomly. What this means is now we have access to the ones that we deleted through this inverted output. So what I can do is I can take these nodes here, hit Control-Shift-D, or just duplicate them and connect the inverted to the curve up here. And then we're going to get a join geometry. And then watch, we're going to bring them right back. So now the ones that we separated are seen here, and here. And you can notice, say I can bring up the radius of some of them. See that? So now the radius of some of them I can change and other ones I don't. So they're separated, which also means we can make a separate material for each one. So right over here where it says light, I'm going to hit the plus icon, hit this drop down, click light, and then I'm here, this number 4, I'm just going to click that. It's going to make a duplicate of the material we made. And I'm just going to call this light 2 and grab light 2 here. So now it's a literal duplicate of the material that we just created. So when we go back to the shader editor, you can see slot 1, so light 2, watch what happens when we play with the add-in. Some of them aren't moving. So that's pretty cool. So we can animate them at different speeds when we're ready to animate. What I want to do is on some of these, just make them brighter than others, just to give it a little bit more of that randomness look. I mean, you can even change the color of some of them too if you want to have some fun and make it look awesome. You could do anything you want, have a lot of fun. And I'm just going to make some of them darker, and then I'm going to switch over to slot 1, the light, and make some of them brighter so we can add more randomness to how this looks. So let's just go ahead and animate them. So I'm going to give myself 400 frames. I'm going to go back to frame 0, and we're going to animate this in a loop. So I'm going to go back here to the add-in and go to 0. Because we want this to be a loop, we're going to use pi. So I'm going to hit I on the add-in, go to the end, and I'm going to type in -10 times or asterisk pi. We're doing -10 because if you do a +10, it'll look like it's going backwards. So that's the only reason why we're doing that. So now we have one animating at a nice like slow pace. We're going to go to slot 2, which is light 2. I'm going to go back to frame 0 on the add-in to make sure it's at 0. I'm going to hit I. I'm going to do -24 asterisk pi. And now some of them are traveling faster than others, which is going to give it this more alive look. So now we have this. We're done with the animation. Let's just go ahead and create a grid floor for the bottom. So I'm going to go and just get my camera. So I'm going to hit Shift A, camera, and then I'm going to hit G and middle click. I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to hit RX. It looks like I need to go up a little bit more, RX. And then I'll just go ahead and zoom in so that we can have a nice camera angle on this. Now I want the floor to have a nice grid because I just don't like a plain black background. I think it looks kind of lame, depending. It's not always lame. So I'm going to go ahead and get a mesh plane, and I'm going to scale it up so it fits the screen. And then we're going to go back to the geometry nodes editor because we have the shader editor opening there. And I'm going to get a new material, hit period to bring it here, get an emission of like 3. We're going to get a color ramp, and we're going to get in a Voronoi texture. And then we're going to plug distance into the color ramp, bring the random to 0, and then I'm going to bring in my color ramp like that. So let's bring up the scale. And then I'm going to go to Chebyshev on the pattern. And then just going to play with the color ramp. So bring it in like that, bring the white far to the left, and then we'll just bring it in like this, and then make the white portion blue like the floor. Bring it up a little bit. We can even make this a little bit, the line a little bit smaller. So now when I render this, we have this nice grid floor for the bottom. So we are completely done, and we are going to be rendering this in Eevee. If you don't want to use Eevee and actually want to use cycles, you can have a little bit more fun and actually get a little bit of reflection on the ground. So you can make the bottom metallic, no reflection, and you can have a little bit of reflection on the ground if you want. I'm going to make it easy for my non-Eevee, my non-cycles users, and just keep it in Eevee. And then when you're done, you can just go ahead, pick your resolution. I'm gonna keep it at 1920 by 1080. I highly recommend PNG sequences, but you don't have to. If you want Blender to just spit out straight MP4, you can go from PNG to FF MPEG video, encoding to MP4 or QuickTime if you're on Mac, medium quality to perceptually lossless, render animation, and when you're done, you'll have something really cool like mine. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you want to check out that hour, 20-minute edit of all of the ways, all of the different features and unique, really cool things to make more of these topographic map inspired animations, you can check that out on Patreon and get all of these project files as well. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.